The starship's hull bore the scars of countless battles, each mark a testament to humanity's desperate struggle for existence. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood motionless, her weathered hands clasped behind her back, eyes fixed on the holographic display that painted the surrounding space in muted blues and deep crimsons. 17 years of war had etched themselves into every line of her face, every strand of silver-streaked hair, a memory of lost comrades and fallen worlds. Around her, the bridge of the UHS Indomitable hummed with a subdued energy. 12 workstations, each typically staffed by 3 to 4 crew members, now supported just a single operator. The ship, designed to carry over 500 personnel, now sheltered a mere 117 survivors, the last known representatives of human civilization. The Central Intelligence System, a quantum neural network that once bore a designated name, now simply responded to standard protocols. Its holographic interface shifted and realigned, tracking the minute gravitational fluctuations of the surrounding asteroid field. Every calculation, every movement was a dance of survival, a delicate balance between detection and concealment. Lieutenant Marcus Chen, the ship's primary navigation specialist, broke the silence. "Captain, we've completed our passive scan of the sector." His fingers danced across the holographic interface, pulling up intricate star charts and gravitational mapping. The Imperial Fleet's long-range reconnaissance units passed through this region approximately 6 standard hours ago. "We're clear, but not for long." Elena nodded, her posture remaining rigid. The weight of humanity's last hope pressed down on her shoulders, a burden she had carried since the fall of the Mars colonies. Each survivor aboard represented more than just a life. They were repositories of human knowledge, culture, and potential. "Damage report," she commanded, her voice low and controlled. The ship's primary systems analyst, Dr. Camara Williams, stepped forward. Her environmental suit, patched and repaired multiple times, reflected the ship's own state of constant adaptation. Hull integrity at 63%. Primary quantum drives are operating at 72% efficiency. We've lost 2 of the 4 backup power generators, but the remaining systems can compensate. A holographic representation of the ship materialized between them, rotating slowly. Red zones indicated critical damage. Yellow zones showed systems operating below optimal levels, and the precious few green zones represented fully functional components. It was a visual metaphor of humanity's current condition. Damaged but not defeated. "Our fuel reserves?" Elena asked, already knowing the precarious nature of their situation. Dr. Williams hesitated. "Enough for 2 more quantum jumps, maybe 3 if we implement strict conservation protocols. After that," her voice trailed off, the implication clear. The ship's junior communications officer, Ensign Roberto Martinez, interrupted with unexpected excitement. "Captain, I'm picking up fragmented communication signals. They're old, but..." He adjusted the frequency, and a burst of static gave way to a barely discernible transmission. Elena leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. The signal was weak, distorted, but unmistakably human in origin. A colony beacon, perhaps, or a desperate message from another hidden human outpost. "Can you clean it up?" she asked. Martinez's fingers flew across the interface, working on it. The signal's encrypted with a protocol we haven't used in decades. It's going to take some time. The bridge fell silent once more. Outside the reinforced viewports, countless asteroids drifted in their eternal dance, providing temporary sanctuary. Each rock, each shadow was a potential shield against the Imperial fleet that had systematically eliminated human settlements across multiple star systems. Lieutenant Chen's voice cut through the tension. "Captain, we're approaching the outer boundary of our current safe zone. We'll need to make a quantum jump soon or risk detection." Elena Rodriguez took a deep breath. Their next move could mean survival or extinction. The last human warship hung in the balance, a fragile beacon of hope in a universe that had declared their species obsolete. "Prepare for quantum jump," she commanded. "But first, Let's see what that signal has to tell us. The briefing room was a testament to humanity's resourcefulness. Once a spacious conference area, it now felt compressed, with emergency equipment and survival gear stacked along the walls. Holographic displays flickered with incomplete star charts and tactical projections, each image a ghostly reminder of their desperate situation. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood at the head of the table, her fingers tracing a complex network of potential attack vectors. Surrounding her were the remaining senior officers, each a specialist who had survived through extraordinary circumstances. Their faces reflected a mixture of exhaustion and fierce determination. "We've intercepted Imperial communications," began Lieutenant Marcus Chen, bringing up a series of encrypted data streams. "Their fleet is assembling for what they're calling Operation Extinction. 10,000 warships, precision-engineered weapons platforms, quantum-locked targeting systems." He paused, letting the magnitude of their challenge sink in. Dr. Camara Williams stepped forward, her environmental suit rustling softly. "It's not just about numbers. These ships represent the most advanced technological integration in galactic history. Each vessel is connected through a quantum communication network that allows instantaneous strategic coordination. The ship's central intelligence system projected a three-dimensional representation of the Imperial fleet. Thousands of precise geometric shapes moved with algorithmic perfection, their movements so synchronized they seemed almost like a single organism. "They believe they're invincible," Elena said quietly. Her fingers moved across the holographic display, pulling apart the fleet's formation, analyzing potential weaknesses. "But every system has a breaking point." Ensign Roberto Martinez, the communications specialist, brought up a series of technical readouts. "We've been analyzing their communication protocols. There's a fascinating complexity to their network. Each ship relies on a cascading verification system. If we can introduce a single point of interference, we could create a systemic collapse," finished Dr. Williams, her eyes lighting up with scientific excitement. The strategy began to take shape. The last human warship wasn't just going to survive. It was going to strike back in a way that would challenge everything the Imperial fleet understood about warfare. "Our quantum drives are damaged," Lieutenant Chen noted, "but that might actually work to our advantage. The energy signature will be completely unpredictable." Elena studied the tactical projections. The Imperial fleet was gathering in what they considered an impenetrable formation near the Rigel Secundus system, a massive stellar construction zone rich with resources. Massive energy collectors and ship construction platforms surrounded the fleet, creating what seemed like an impregnable defensive position. "They've left one vulnerability," Elena said, her finger tracing a complex path through the holographic representation. "Here, where the quantum communication relays intersect, if we can introduce a cascading quantum disruption at this precise point." Dr. Williams leaned in, her scientific mind already calculating the possibilities. "The energy requirements would be astronomical. We'd be pushing our quantum drive beyond any previously tested parameters." "We don't have a choice," Elena responded. "This is humanity's last opportunity. We either succeed, or we become a footnote in galactic history." The room fell silent. Each officer understood the stakes. Their mission wasn't just about survival. It was about proving that humanity's spirit of innovation could overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. Ensign Martinez broke the silence. "The signal we intercepted earlier, the fragmented transmission, it might contain additional tactical information about the Imperial fleet's recent movements." "Let's hear it," Elena commanded. The transmission crackled to life. Distorted voices spoke in a mix of technical jargon and urgent warnings. Fragments of conversations about fleet movements, weapon systems, and strategic positioning began to form a more comprehensive picture. "They're confident," Lieutenant Chen observed. "So confident that they're not even attempting to mask their communications completely." Dr. Williams was already working on decrypting the more complex portions of the transmission. "This could give us the precise targeting information we need, if we can isolate the quantum communication nodes." Alina watched her team work, a slight smile crossing her face. They were outnumbered, outgunned, but never outthought. The Imperial fleet saw them as a dying species. They were about to learn the true meaning of human resilience. "Prepare the quantum disruption sequence," she ordered. "We're going to rewrite the rules of galactic warfare." The ship's central engineering bay was a living museum of human innovation. Exposed circuitry wound like metallic veins through walls reinforced with adaptive nanocomposite materials. Every surface told a story of desperate creativity, of scientific breakthroughs born from the crucible of extinction. Dr. Camara Williams moved between holographic displays, her fingers dancing across quantum reactive interfaces that seemed to anticipate her thoughts. The UHS Indomitable was more than a spacecraft. It was the culmination of humanity's most advanced technological achievements, designed in the final desperate years of the interstellar conflict. "The resonance disruptor is our masterpiece," she explained to Ensign Roberto Martinez, who watched with a mixture of scientific awe and professional curiosity. Traditional weapons became obsolete when the Imperial fleet developed quantum shielding. We had to think completely differently. She activated a holographic demonstration. A complex lattice of energy lines materialized, showing how the weapon could communicate with and manipulate atomic structures across vast distances. Unlike conventional weapons that destroyed through kinetic or thermal energy, the resonance disruptor worked at a fundamental molecular level. Lieutenant Marcus Chen studied the schematics carefully. "It's not just a weapon. It's a complete systemic communication protocol that can potentially rewrite the fundamental interactions between matter and energy." The weapon's development had been a desperate moonshot. When conventional military research proved ineffective against the Imperial fleet's advanced shielding, humanity's top scientists had been given unprecedented freedom. Universities, research stations, and isolated development centers pooled their most radical theories. The nanocomposite armor was another marvel. Microscopic adaptive units could restructure themselves instantaneously, redistributing energy and reinforcing critical areas within milliseconds of damage detection. What appeared to be a single, solid hull was actually a dynamic, living system that could heal and adapt faster than any known technology in the galaxy. "Look here," Dr. Williams pointed to a microscopic view of the hull's structure. Each nanounit contains a quantum-entangled communication network. When damage occurs, these units can instantaneously redistribute energy, restructure molecular bonds, and effectively heal the ship's exterior. Ensign Martinez whistled softly. "It's like the ship is alive." "Not alive," Dr. Williams corrected, "but adaptive. A perfect fusion of biological resilience and computational precision." The ship's power systems were equally revolutionary. Traditional fusion and antimatter drives had been replaced by a quantum vacuum energy extraction system. It could draw energy directly from the quantum fluctuations of spacetime itself, theoretically providing nearly infinite power with minimal resource requirements. Captain Alina Rodriguez entered the engineering bay, her presence immediately changing the atmosphere. She moved with the confidence of someone who understood the delicate balance between technological potential and practical application. "Status report," she commanded. Dr. Williams brought up a comprehensive systems overview. Quantum drive stability is at 72%. The resonance disruptor is fully charged, but requires precise calibration. Our adaptive armor is operating at maximum efficiency, with self-repair capabilities running at 89% responsiveness. The captain studied the display, her mind already calculating potential scenarios. The Imperial fleet will not understand this technology. They've developed their systems based on linear progression, incremental improvements to existing designs. We've rewritten the entire concept of spacecraft engineering. Lieutenant Chen highlighted a series of technical diagrams. Our computational systems can process and adapt faster than their centralized networks. Where they have rigid, hierarchical communication protocols, we have a fluid, decentralized system that can make decisions at quantum speeds. "It's our ace," Alina said softly. They see a damaged, nearly destroyed human vessel. They don't realize we're holding a technological revolution. The engineering bay hummed with potential energy. Every system, every component was a testament to human creativity. Developed not through massive industrial complexes, but through the collective effort of scientists who refuse to accept defeat. "We're not just fighting," Dr. Williams said, her voice filled with quiet determination. "We're proving that innovation is humanity's greatest weapon." As if in response, the ship's systems pulsed, a subtle reminder that they were more than just metal and circuitry. They were the embodiment of human potential, compressed into a single, remarkable vessel. The quantum navigation system transformed space itself into a complex labyrinth of potential paths. Lieutenant Marcus Chen's fingers moved with surgical precision, guiding the UHS Indomitable through a treacherous region of quantum interference that would have destroyed conventional spacecraft. "Gravitational lensing activated," he muttered, tracing a nearly invisible path through a cluster of dark matter concentrations. The ship's hull shimmered subtly, its adaptive nanocomposite exterior bending light and quantum signatures to create near-perfect camouflage. Captain Alina Rodriguez watched the stellar cartography display, her experienced eye catching the micro-variations that most navigators would miss. The Imperial fleet moved like a massive mechanical organism, thousands of ships synchronized with such precision that they appeared almost as a single entity. Their movement was a testament to technological integration, each vessel communicating and adjusting position with instantaneous quantum communication. But precision was also a weakness. Dr. Camaro Williams monitored the ship's quantum signature suppression systems. "We're generating minimal quantum disturbance," she reported. "Our energy emissions are being dispersed across multiple subspace frequencies. To their sensors, we'll look like nothing more than background quantum noise." Ensign Roberto Martinez worked on communication interception, capturing and analyzing fragments of Imperial fleet transmissions. The encrypted networks were complex, but humanity's final generation of cryptanalysts had developed unprecedented decryption capabilities. "Their communication protocols are fascinating," he said, pulling up holographic displays of intricate data streams. "They've created a multi-layered verification system that's theoretically unbreakable, but every system has a pattern, and patterns can be exploited." The ship moved through a region of space that defied conventional understanding. Here, gravitational waves created by massive stellar constructions formed natural camouflage. Dark matter clusters bent light and quantum signatures, creating natural blind spots that the Indomitable could slip through undetected. "We're approaching the first critical navigation point," Lieutenant Chen announced. His hands moved across holographic interfaces, making micro-adjustments that would seem imperceptible to an untrained observer, but were crucial to their survival. Captain Rodriguez understood the delicate balance they were maintaining. One miscalculation, one moment of predictability, could reveal their position to the Imperial fleet. Their entire strategy depended on being absolutely unpredictable. "Quantum interference field stabilizing," Dr. Williams reported. The ship's systems were working in perfect harmony, dispersing energy signatures, bending quantum probabilities, creating a moving point of absolute uncertainty. Ensign Martinez suddenly leaned forward. "I'm picking up something. A communication fragment. It seems like a routine fleet coordination message." But his fingers flew across the decryption interfaces. "But," Alina prompted, "it contains subtle information about their fleet positioning. They're so confident in their communication security that they're not even attempting to fully mask tactical details." The Imperial fleet continued its methodical movement, each ship maintaining perfect geometric formation. To an outside observer, it would look like an unstoppable machine of war. Thousands of vessels, each capable of destroying entire planetary systems, moving with a precision that seemed to defy the chaos of space. They had no idea the human ship was watching, waiting. "We need to be within 0.03 light-years of their primary quantum communication relay," Lieutenant Chen said. "Any further, and our disruption sequence won't achieve maximum effect. Dr. Williams ran a final systems check. The ship's adaptive systems were operating at peak efficiency. Quantum drives hummed with potential energy. The resonance disruptor waited, a technological marvel that could fundamentally alter the nature of their conflict. "Their overconfidence is our greatest weapon," Captain Rodriguez said quietly. The Imperial fleet saw humanity as a conquered species, a footnote in galactic history. They were about to learn the true meaning of human resilience. The UHS Indomitable continued its silent approach, a ghost moving through the most dangerous region of space. Each movement was a calculated risk, each moment a testament to human innovation and survival. They were going to strike back, and the galaxy would never see it coming. Time seemed to compress as the UHS Indomitable reached its critical position. The Imperial fleet stretched across an immense sector of space, a geometric constellation of technological precision that spoke of absolute confidence and overwhelming force. Captain Alina Rodriguez stood completely still, her hand hovering over the primary tactical interface. Around her, the bridge crew moved with a synchronicity born of years of survival and shared purpose. Each movement was calculated, each breath measured. Quantum resonance alignment confirmed, Lieutenant Marcus Chen reported, his voice steady despite the magnitude of their impending action. "We have a 2.7 millisecond window of maximum effectiveness." Dr. Kamara Williams checked the resonance disruptor's final calibrations. The weapon was unlike anything in galactic warfare, not a tool of destruction, but a precise instrument of systemic disruption. It would communicate with the fundamental atomic structures of the Imperial fleet, introducing a cascading sequence of quantum interference that would transform their most advanced warships into nothing more than drifting metal. "Targeting sequence initiated," Ensign Roberto Martinez announced. His fingers moved across holographic interfaces, routing quantum communication pathways through increasingly complex algorithmic patterns. The first strike was silent, invisible, impossible to detect until its effects became catastrophically apparent. Hundreds of Imperial warships began to go dark simultaneously. Their quantum communication networks collapsed first, a domino effect of systemic failure that spread faster than light could transmit information. Weapon systems froze. Navigation computers became nothing more than expensive paperweights. "Direct hit," Lieutenant Chen said, a rare smile crossing his face. They never saw it coming. The Imperial fleet's carefully constructed formation began to dissolve. Ships that moments ago had been moving with perfect synchronization now drifted aimlessly. Their quantum-locked targeting systems became useless, their advanced shielding nothing more than decorative plating. Dr. Williams watched the tactical display with scientific fascination. The resonance is propagating through their entire network. It's not just disabling individual ships, it's fundamentally altering their quantum communication infrastructure. Captain Rodriguez understood the psychological impact as much as the technological one. The Imperial fleet had built their entire military strategy on the concept of absolute technological superiority. Their ships were designed to work as a single, unified organism. By destroying that unified communication, they had transformed a seemingly invincible force into a collection of isolated, helpless vessels. "Prepare secondary disruption sequence," she commanded. Ensign Martinez brought up additional targeting systems. "We can amplify the quantum interference, push their systems beyond any recovery point." The bridge hummed with an electric tension. They were outnumbered 10,000 to 1, and yet they were systematically dismantling the most advanced military force in galactic history. Lieutenant Chen tracked the expanding wave of disruption. "We're seeing complete systemic collapse in multiple fleet sectors. Their backup communication protocols are failing faster than they can implement emergency responses. Massive warships, each capable of destroying entire planetary systems, now drifted like abandoned children. Their weapon batteries were cold. Their quantum drives were nothing more than dead weight. The Imperial fleet's greatest strength, its absolute technological integration, had become its most catastrophic weakness. They designed a network so perfectly synchronized that any disruption becomes a total failure, Dr. Williams observed. It's brilliant engineering, and its most fundamental flaw. Captain Rodriguez watched the tactical display. What had begun as a desperate mission of survival was transforming into something more. This was a statement, a declaration that humanity would not go quietly into extinction. "Continue disruption sequence," she ordered. The UHS Indomitable moved through the disabled fleet like a phantom, its adaptive systems keeping it hidden, its resonance disruptor continuing to propagate its quantum interference. Hundreds of ships became hundreds of tombstones, a memorial to the Empire's overconfidence. They had come to eliminate humanity. Instead, they had become a demonstration of human ingenuity. The Imperial fleet's counterattack was as precise as it was devastating. Hundreds of functioning ships redirected their remaining operational systems, focusing their combined firepower on the UHS Indomitable with mathematical precision. "Incoming weapon signatures," Lieutenant Marcus Chen shouted, his hands flying across the quantum reactive interfaces, multiple high-energy particle streams converging on our position. Captain Alina Rodriguez gripped the command chair, her mind racing through potential defensive scenarios. The ship shuddered as the first wave of attacks struck their outer hull, the nano-composite armor systems immediately springing into action. Dr. Camaro Williams monitored the ship's adaptive responses, hull integrity at 76% and holding. Nano repair systems are redistributing energy and restructuring molecular bonds faster than the weapons can cause damage. It was more than a defensive mechanism. The UHS Indomitable was literally healing itself in real time, transforming incoming energy into structural reinforcement. Where traditional spacecraft would have been obliterated, this human vessel absorbed and adapted. Ensign Roberto Martinez worked frantically on communication systems. "I'm detecting residual quantum communication channels. They're trying to reorganize their fleet's command structure." The bridge became a symphony of controlled chaos. Each crew member moved with the precision of a well-oiled machine, their years of training and survival condensed into split-second decisions. "Reroute auxiliary power to quantum interference generators," Alina commanded. Her voice cut through the ambient noise of combat systems, calm and absolutely certain. Lieutenant Chen executed the order instantly. Quantum interference field expanding. "We're creating localized probability disruption zones around incoming weapon trajectories." The ship's defensive systems were unlike anything in galactic warfare. Traditional shielding worked on principles of energy absorption or deflection. The Indomitable systems actually manipulated the probabilistic nature of incoming attacks, subtly altering their quantum trajectories. Dr. Williams explained the process to Ensign Martinez as she worked. "We're not just blocking attacks. We're fundamentally changing the quantum probability of their weapon strikes. Each particle stream has multiple potential paths, and we're nudging them toward less destructive outcomes." Entire sections of the ship transformed dynamically. Damaged areas were immediately isolated, their energy redistributed. Internal systems reconfigured themselves, turning damaged compartments into temporary energy buffers or structural reinforcements. "Hull breach on Deck 7. Chen reported. "Nano repair systems are sealing and reconstructing." The Imperial fleet's attacks became increasingly desperate. Their initial precision gave way to a more chaotic bombardment, a clear sign of their growing frustration. Weapon systems that had been designed to obliterate entire planetary populations were being systematically neutralized by a single human vessel. "They're learning," Captain Rodriguez observed, "but they're learning too slowly." Ensign Martinez picked up fragmentary communication signals. Their command structure is in complete disarray. Each ship is operating with reduced capabilities, trying to independently respond to our attack. Dr. Williams brought up a tactical display showing the ship's current status. "We've lost 24% of our primary systems, but our adaptive capabilities are compensating. We're literally becoming stronger through damage." The ship moved with an almost organic fluidity. Where a traditional spacecraft would have been destroyed, The Indomitable transformed each attack into an opportunity for improvement. Damaged power conduits became temporary energy storage. Compromised sensor arrays were immediately rerouted through backup systems. Quantum drive stability at 63%, Lieutenant Chen reported. But we're maintaining quantum interference capabilities at 91% efficiency. Captain Rodriguez watched the tactical display. The Imperial fleet had come to eliminate humanity, to prove their technological superiority. Instead, they were witnessing the most advanced display of adaptive technology in galactic history. "Continue evasive maneuvers," she commanded, "and prepare for our next phase of attack." The UHS Indomitable moved through the Imperial fleet like a living weapon. Each attack made it stronger. Each moment proved that human innovation knew no limits. They were not just surviving. They were demonstrating the true potential of human technological evolution. The quantum communication systems of the UHS Indomitable began to pulse with an intentional rhythm. Ensign Roberto Martinez worked with precision, transforming the ship's communication arrays into something far more than a simple transmission device. "We're broadcasting on every known frequency," he reported, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces, multiple encryption layers, quantum-entangled communication protocols. Captain Alina Rodriguez understood the significance of this moment. This was more than a battle. This was a message to every scattered human settlement, every survivor hidden across the galaxy. "Translate the transmission into every known language," she commanded. "Include visual and quantum-encoded data streams." The Imperial fleet continued its assault, unaware that each moment of their attack was being recorded, analyzed, and broadcast across multiple communication spectrums. Their overwhelming force, their technological precision, their absolute confidence, all of it would become a testament to human resilience. Dr. Camara Williams monitored the transmission's technical aspects. "We're using their own communication infrastructure against them. Each broadcast is piggybacking on their quantum communication networks, making it virtually impossible to block or suppress." Lieutenant Marcus Chen brought up a comprehensive display of the transmission's reach. "Signal propagation is exponential. We're not just reaching human settlements. We're creating a quantum communication cascade that will spread across multiple star systems." The message was simple yet profound. Visual records of the battle, technical schematics of the ship's adaptive technologies, raw data showing how a single human vessel was dismantling the most advanced fleet in galactic history. "They'll see our survival," Alina said softly. "They'll understand we're not defeated." Ensign Martinez detected something unexpected. "I'm picking up fragmented response signals. Isolated human settlements are acknowledging the transmission. They're not just receiving. They're starting to respond." The Imperial fleet's psychological breakdown became increasingly apparent. Their attacks lost precision. Communication networks began to fragment. The absolute certainty that had defined their military strategy was crumbling. Dr. Williams observed the tactical displays with scientific fascination. They're experiencing a systemic cognitive disruption. Their entire military philosophy is based on absolute technological superiority and collective action. "We're demonstrating that their greatest strength is also their most significant weakness." Each moment of the transmission told a story. The adaptive hull of the Indomitable healing itself. The quantum interference systems redirecting weapon attacks. The crew working with perfect synchronization. "We're showing them what humanity truly is," Captain Rodriguez said. "Not just a species fighting for survival, but a species capable of radical innovation." The ship's communication systems began to receive increasingly complex responses, fragmentary signals from human settlements that had been in hiding. Technical data, survival stories, coordinates of isolated colonies. Lieutenant Chen tracked the expanding communication network. "It's like watching a neural network come to life. Each settlement is sharing information, using our transmission as a communication backbone." Ensign Martinez worked to decode and organize the incoming transmissions. "They're not just receiving our message. They're contributing to it, sharing survival strategies, technical innovations, resource information. The Imperial fleet's attacks became more sporadic. Their communication networks, once a model of perfect synchronization, now resembled a chaotic, fragmenting system. They're losing cohesion, Dr. Williams observed. Each ship is becoming an isolated unit, losing the collective intelligence that made them so formidable. Captain Rodriguez watched the tactical display. What had begun as a desperate mission of survival was transforming into something much larger. A beacon of hope. A declaration that humanity would not just survive, but evolve. "Continue transmission," she ordered. "Let the galaxy know we're still here." The UHS Indomitable moved through the Imperial fleet, its communication systems pulsing with a message that would echo across multiple star systems. They had come to eliminate humanity. Instead, they had become the instrument of humanity's resurgence. A single ship, a message of defiance, the first spark of a galactic revolution. The final moments of the battle approached with a crescendo of quantum energy and human determination. Captain Alina Rodriguez watched the tactical displays with a calm that belied the magnitude of their situation. The UHS Indomitable, despite massive damage, remained the most dangerous vessel in the sector. Quantum Cascade Sequence prepared, Lieutenant Marcus Chen reported. His fingers hovered over the final activation controls, a lifetime of scientific training and survival instinct compressed into a single moment of potential. Dr. Camara Williams monitored the ship's critical systems. "We have one chance," she said, her voice steady. "If we miscalculate, we'll be caught in our own quantum disruption field." The Imperial fleet had been reduced to a scattered collection of disabled vessels, but scattered did not mean defeated. Hundreds of ships still maintained partial functionality, their weapon systems potentially capable of a final devastating counterattack. Ensign Roberto Martinez tracked the quantum communication networks. They're attempting to reorganize, trying to establish a coordinated response. Captain Rodriguez knew their final move had to be definitive. More than a military strike, it would be a statement that would echo through galactic history. "Target the primary antimatter storage zones," she commanded. Quantum Cascade Initiation Sequence. The ship's quantum drive began to pulse with an energy that defied conventional physics. It was not just a weapon system, but a fundamental reimagining of energy manipulation. The Indomitable would become a quantum catalyst, transforming the Imperial fleet's own energy systems against themselves. Lieutenant Chen executed the sequence. Quantum resonance field expanding. "We're creating a cascading energy transfer that will propagate through their entire fleet's power infrastructure." The effect was unlike any weapon in galactic history. Instead of destruction through force, the quantum cascade began to systematically convert the Imperial fleet's stored energy into a complex quantum interference pattern. Antimatter containment fields began to destabilize. Power systems collapsed in a chain reaction that spread faster than light could transmit information. "Cascade at 73% propagation," Chen reported, expanding exponentially. Dr. Williams watched the technical readouts with scientific fascination. "We're not just destroying ships, we're fundamentally altering the quantum potential of their entire energy infrastructure." Massive warships began to transform, not explode, not disintegrate, but become something else entirely. Their advanced systems became quantum-locked, their massive energy reserves converted into complex interference patterns that rendered them completely inert. Ensign Martinez continued to track communication networks. "The transmission is still active. Every human settlement is watching this." Captain Rodriguez understood the psychological impact. This was more than a military victory. This was a declaration of human potential. The final moments of the quantum cascade were almost beautiful. Thousands of Imperial warships, the most advanced military force in galactic history, became nothing more than complex quantum sculptures. Their energy systems transformed, their weapon platforms rendered permanently non-functional. "Cascade complete," Lieutenant Chen announced. The UHS Indomitable hung in space, damaged but unbroken. Around it, and graveyard of Imperial technology, told a story of human innovation, resilience, and unexpected potential. Dr. Williams began preliminary analysis. We've essentially created a quantum interference field that will prevent these ships from ever being reactivated. Their energy systems are fundamentally altered at the atomic level. Ensign Martinez detected multiple communication signals. Responses are coming in from human settlements. They're not just receiving our transmission. They're understanding its significance. Captain Rodriguez watched the tactical display. What had begun as a desperate mission of survival had transformed into something much larger. A beacon of hope. A demonstration that humanity's true strength was not in military might, but in adaptability, innovation, and an unbreakable spirit. "Prepare for quantum jump," she commanded. "We're not done yet." The last human warship moved slowly through the quantum-locked Imperial fleet. They had come to eliminate humanity. Instead, they had become a testament to human potential. A single ship, a message of defiance, the first spark of a galactic revolution.